Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, you resident vintage gamer. And there's finally something out there to talk about on my channel. If you haven't already heard, and I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you probably already know it, Microsoft purchased Bethesda game studios. Well, they purchased ZeniMax, which ZeniMax is the parent company of Bethesda, but as far as for us gamers, the big news is Microsoft, it's technically Xbox, bought ZeniMax. But as far as we're concerned, Microsoft, who owns Xbox, bought Bethesda. Because what we care about as gamers is the games. And you got Microsoft Game Studios, you got Bethesda. And Bethesda is the one that makes, of course, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Doom, Wolfenstein, Rage, Dishonored, just a whole shit ton of, excellent franchises that Bethesda in recent memory has handled rather poorly. Let's just say that. So I'm a little scared for some of my favorite franchises, and I'm a little bit excited at the same time because maybe this is the kick in the ass that they needed to start doing things differently or better, So I've got a couple of examples of why I'm actually worried. Probably I'm a little bit more worried than I am excited, and that is that in recent memory, I'm playing Fallout 4, and I've been playing Fallout 4 on and off since it launched. I have like 1,100 hours on it. But I started playing a survival mode game, run through, because I wanted to, foolishly, I did not research this first, because I just made the assumption, and as we know, assumptions are the mother of all fuck-ups. I made the assumption that, of course, if there's a survival mode for whatever game it is, there's going to be a corresponding achievement for that if you beat the game on that difficulty. I was wrong. So I was doing this survival mode run through Fallout 4, which is tough. Let's be honest. And I got to the point where if you haven't played the game, there's some spoilers here, but I'm pretty sure everybody's got to have been played it by now. But you get to the point where you've got to go to the Institute. You got to go back and forth to the Institute. And in survival mode, it's the only place that you can truly fast travel to in the game, because it's disabled everywhere. You can't fast travel anywhere else. But you can, because it's the only way to get into the Institute is to fast travel, so they had to have it there. And I get to that point, and every time I try to go into the Institute, the game just crashes to desktop. So I, of course, do the Google foo thing and find out, yeah, that's a common problem. They know about it, but the problem is, in any other mode, you could go to the console and you could do a console command to bypass it and get into the Institute or whatever, do whatever you needed to do. But in survival mode, you don't have access to the console. So it is truly a game-breaking bug, because you can't finish the game if you can't get back into the Institute. So I do a few hours worth of research trying to figure out different ways to maybe fix this bug by going into the code and changing some files and that type of stuff. And I finally realized that one of the things that might be causing a problem is that Bethesda has this thing called the Creation Club, where they have not necessarily add-ons, but add-on content that, like, different outfits for your character and that kind of shit, cosmetics and stuff like that, that you can download from them. And of course they want to charge you for everything, but every once in a while they have freebies where they give them away. And like a moron, at one point or another, I guess I downloaded one of the freebies from the Creation Club, and I knew it wasn't an add-on, because if you do that, if you download add-ons in Fallout 4, it disables all achievements. So I knew not to do that, but the Creation Club stuff is different than that. And so at some point I must have done that, because I had some Creation Club files in my directory and stuff. So I read up on how exactly to get rid of that stuff in case that's the problem or whatnot. And try it, still doesn't work. So now at that point I'm truly frustrated, because I've tried everything that I've read that there is a possible way to get past this. And then I decided, well, there's a high definition texture pack that is free and available on Steam for Fallout 4. It is a huge download. It was like, I want to say it was 55 gigabytes. So as texture pack, that's huge. But I have plenty of room on my hard drive, so I'm like, I'm just going to see for shits and giggles if that possibly could fix this. So I download the high resolution texture pack, knowing that some people, it has broken their game. Just downloading and installing the high definition texture pack has actually broken their game completely also. So I'm taking that risk as well, but I figure I got nothing to lose. I already can't get into where I need to get into, so let's try it. So I do that. It fucking fixes the game. I'm able to get into the Institute, boom, bam, boom, no problem at all. Nowhere is it ever documented that that's a possible fix. I just did it as, what the hell have I got to lose? Let's give it a shot. And it fixed it. And I was able to finish the game. And then, of course, I found out there are no achievements for finishing the game in survival mode. I did that whole run through just because I wanted to because there's hidden achievements on Steam. If you're asking why didn't I just look it up ahead of time, there's hidden ones. I have most of the Fallout 4 ones, but there's some hidden ones, and it's because you have to unlock them to see them. Now, I know I could have gone to a third-party website, wiki, and seen all of the achievements just to check, but I made the assumption there has to be an achievement if you finish the game in survival mode. Why the fuck wouldn't there be? That's just stupid, right? Nope, there isn't one. So I did all that for nothing. Now, that's a long way to go about telling my point here. My point is, all of that shouldn't have been necessary. The game shouldn't have broken because whether I had Creation Club stuff or whatever the other bug was that was causing me not to be able to get back into the Institute, that shit should have been fixed. Now, they do have a mod, a user-made mod called like the unofficial Fallout 4 patch that fixes like all of the known bugs in Fallout 4, but it's made by a fucking user, not by Bethesda or ZeniMax or anything else. They relied on the modders to fix their game. Now, had I installed that, then even though I didn't know there wasn't any achievement, it would have disabled all the achievements because it would have been an add-on. So that wasn't even a possibility. In hindsight, if I would have known there were no achievements, I wouldn't have been doing the damn run through anyway. But, which is another, it's like, why isn't there an achievement for that? So, and then separately, I have another rig under my desk. The one I'm recording this on is the one I went and bought because I have one that's all bricked up here because of Windows 10. And there is a long, drawn-out way of possibly fixing this. I'll have to buy another copy of Windows 10 on a flash drive and boot it up that way, and I might be able to get this thing running again when I feel like I want to invest the time and the money and everything else to do that. But in the meantime, I have a bricked up computer here because Microsoft made a piece of shit. And they haven't fixed it. And it's another common problem. It's basically on what happened here was the settings on Windows 10, when you click on settings in Windows, to go to your Windows settings, your operating system settings, in Windows 10, that's an app. It's just like everything else is an app. So it has its own, it runs as its own little thing. And the app is not available on my version. I should rephrase that. Something happened on my copy of Windows 10 that that fucked up the settings app, meaning that if you click on it, it just does nothing. It's like as if the settings app doesn't exist. But doing some research, it is another common thing that has happened to a lot of people. And Microsoft offers no fix for it. They don't offer, they're like, well, you have to do Windows Update to possibly fix that. Guess what? You can't do Windows Update if you can't get into your settings. Because in order to opt to update through Windows settings, you have to get into, or Windows Update, you have to get into your settings app, and you can't. So there's no fucking way, according to Microsoft, to fix it, because the fix they're giving isn't possible. So of course users, not the companies, have figured out a way that, they're like, well, you got to get it on a flash drive, and which is like, I looked it up, to buy a authentic, from Microsoft, they would get more of my money. It's like $99 or whatever to get on a flash drive, and then a bootable one I could boot on a flash drive to start it up and possibly fix the whole problem. But I haven't made that decision that I want to do that. So anyway, so now there's, from the two companies involved, you have two examples of how their piss poor quality assurance, quality control, whatever, have left end users, the people that pay the money for these products, to have to figure out fixes on their own. I managed to fix Fallout 4 on my own, just fucking around saying, hey, what the hell? I'll try the HD texture pack just to see, and ta-da, it worked. Don't know if the next person, I have no idea if that would fix, if it was the same exact bug, if that would fit, I have no idea. But I just, through trial and error, had to try it, and because Bethesda doesn't offer a fix, there's nothing. It's just, you did put all that time in for nothing. It's funny. So, and then Microsoft doesn't give a shit about their support for their products. They don't give a shit. They're so big, they don't give a shit. So now Microsoft owns Bethesda. So are we going to continue to have the Q&A of both of them combined to make some kind of superhero fucking mutant shitty service? I mean, perhaps that's going to happen. And any of the famous franchises that you want to play become even worse because Microsoft's involved and their QA sucks and Bethesda sucks. So now you have double suck. And or I better silence that. Or is it possible that maybe 2020 is going to finally throw us a bone and say, yeah, perhaps Microsoft's actually going to clean up Bethesda's, and make them fix their games. Oh, by the way, I also decided I'm going to play Fallout 3 because I never finished. I want to start that one and do a full playthrough of Fallout 3. Guess what? In Steam, if you go to play Fallout 3, you can't because it requires Windows, Microsoft Games for Windows Live or whatever, which doesn't exist anymore because Microsoft said, fuck it. And so it just doesn't do anything. And if you go into the comments, on Steam, it's all like, you can't play it on Steam. You can't. It's just, there's some long drive. I mean, you'd have to actually go in deep into the fucking files and change all kinds of INI files and all kinds of stuff to maybe possibly get around looking for games for Windows Live and maybe possibly, or I can spend $20 on GOG and get one that I know will work. So I'll probably end up doing, if I want to play Fallout, but that pisses me off because I already own the goddamn game. But Microsoft and Bethesda are both involved in that fuck up because Bethesda hasn't said, Steam, we need you to make it so that our game runs on here that people paid for. And Microsoft hasn't said, hey, we know we fucked up because Games for Windows Live isn't available anymore. Here, we're going to work with Bethesda before we own them and come up with a fix so that everybody can play these games because that's not the only game. There's other games that aren't even Bethesda owned that require Games for Windows Live on Steam that are also fucked up because you can't play them. So there's that double suck I was talking about. Super suck activated, you know. So what do we have to look forward to? Do we have, I mean, are we going to go the optimistic route or the pessimistic route? I don't know. I'm in the middle. I, knock on wood, hope that somehow together they're going to fix some shit, get some games out, you know, put some money in to get, you know, Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6 and, you know, all this stuff finished. And what is it? What's the other one? I can't even think of the space one that they're doing, that Bethesda's doing. It's a star something. Anyway, that one. There's just a whole bunch of titles that perhaps maybe this will be a good thing, but I'm not gonna hold my hopes up too high. Anyway, so that happened today, and that actually motivated me to do a video about it, to do this rant here. The other little tidbit that I will add as a bonus in here, if you managed to watch this long, is that Wizards of the Coast announced yesterday at their D&D celebration event or whatever that there's going to be 3 new, I shouldn't use the word new, that's not the right word. They're going to release 3 of the older campaigns from old school D&D back for 5th edition, which could be World of Greyhawk, could be Dragonlance, could be Planescape, who knows? Could be Spelljammer, Dark Sun, there's a bunch of them. So, but they're not saying which ones yet. So, fingers crossed, World of Greyhawk makes a resurgence back with 5th edition. That would be, of course, the ultimate for me. If I did decide to run another 5th edition campaign and they released Greyhawk for it, that would work perfectly for that. But we'll have to wait and see. So that's your little bonus if you didn't already hear that. I did tweet it out earlier on if you're following me on Twitter. But so we got those things to look forward to. How do you guys feel about the buyout? About the D&D announcement of the 3 campaigns that are going to be brought back into 5th edition? Let me know your thoughts below. Like, dislike, whatever you want to do. Doesn't really matter. I don't care. I'll probably never be monetized, so it won't make a shit of beans to me. I don't care, you know. So, anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Everybody's staying healthy out there, and we'll catch you on the flip side.